Phil.
Right, so what I've done here, I'll fill that up for a minute. So the first important thing is that I've cleaned out the IBC and it's got fresh water in it. So it's important that it's clean, so you don't want to brew up anything you don't want, you know, so you have a fresh, clean brew.
And it's not mains water, is it?
No, it's not. It's come from the pond.
Yeah.
And so I've cleaned our strainer, and I've got a mixture, well, it will be a mixture in a minute. I've got some Johnson Sue compost, and some...
That's from our worm
Yeah.
farm, our own kitchen worm
So
farm.
that is absolutely raw worm casts.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be mixed per se, because the air and water will do that. So we'll put that in there like that.
You got it all right? No, I've got a trowel
Yeah.
somewhere. The only bits I can see left in it are bits of eggshell. That won't be a problem, will it?
There are one or two bits and pieces, but it's no problem because we're going to use the mixture of air and water to knock the nutrients and the biology off this material.
Okay.
So the
So
worm
we're not
cast-
fermenting it, are we?
No, we're not. We're just literally trying to get the nutrients and the biology out of it. So realistically, the worm casts will be mostly nutrients, and the Johnson Sue compost will be mostly biology. But there will be some of each in both ways. So now we get to the technical bit.
Hours of design.
So we have a fully adjustable system.
Oh.
And so at the bottom of our IBC, there is a, well, biggest size available aerator that's designed to go in a lake. So it's the proper job. And so what we do, we'll put this up here. We're going to put that in there like that. So we're going to suspend it so that the air doesn't blow all the solid material out of it.
I'm so glad that it doesn't look Keith Robinson and put together by a farmer.
It's a perfectly adjustable system designed so that we can do different amounts of liquid.
They sell these in America for thousands of pounds, you know.
I'm very happy to sell pieces of my Bailey's wine for a very few tens of pounds.
And what are we going to do with this tea extract?
So what we're going to do with it, there's lots of things you can do with it, but there are two main routes of action. You can apply it to the soil, getting the nutrients and the biology in the soil. Those nutrients, some of them will feed the plant direct, some of them will feed the biology in the soil. The nutrients will feed the plant direct for the most part. And the other way of doing it is to apply it to the leaves of the plant. And the plant is able to take those nutrients through its stomata in the leaves and absorb them directly. And to some extent, the biology can do that as well, particularly the bacteria.
So if you're a Wiggly customer and you're at home and you've got your worm farm, you could do this easily by shaking up, stirring water, and then adding your worm cast, which are what we've just added, in a little gauze bag or a sort of tea bag.
Just a piece of tea towel, anything just to filter it.
Yeah.
Just filter it through that, muslin if you want to be really technical. But then the result, if you're putting it on the soil, probably a watering can. If you're putting it on the plant direct, it wants to be a finer mist than that, so a little spray.
Because, just so you're clear, dear Wiggly customer, when you've got your liquid in the bottom of your wormery, really that is worm leachate. But it's been through vegetables and it's not as good as a proper worm tea, which is made from actually spreading the nutrients within the water from your finished compost.
So leachate is by and large a different material, and it's very what we call hot. If you use it neat on a plant, that'll scorch it. It'll burn the leaves. It's very concentrated stuff. So you can use it as fertiliser, but always dilute it. And really, I prefer to use this as a foliar feed rather than leachate. You could use leachate, but you've got to dilute it a lot. This is much easier on the plant.
How long are you going to agitate this for?
About 18, 24 hours, that sort of time. But you can see already the water that was clear, so we're already getting things out of that.
It's like tea.
It is like tea, and that's like a big tea spread. So we'll switch the...
Okay, here we go.
So now you can see the air coming up through the basket of compost.
Yeah.
Now, because the aerator underneath tends to move itself around, because this is a fully adjustable system, you can move the basket over the aerator.
Very good, yeah.
So that all works very nicely. And you can see that it's circulating the water all around, so there's no dead areas in there, but it's quite gentle. So it's not rip and tear, but it'll do that, it'll constantly agitate. You can just see here, look, the water's coming straight up through all that wet, heavy worm cast. And overnight now, that will gradually dissolve, knock off all the bits you want. And you can see just now the water's gone quite brown quite quickly. So that's got all the easy bits. So what we'd love is the feedback of how you've got on with it.
Yeah.
Because we're 100% happy it works, but obviously the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. And we saw Terry Walton last night actually. Hi Terry, he's the Radio 2 gardening expert, and he said the time to feed your plants is June, July. So
May, June, July is when the plant needs its nutrients, and when it potentially, particularly if it's dry, finds it hardest to get. But the real point is, because the plant is doing everything at that time, the quantity of nutrients it needs, that's when the deficiencies come, but it just can't get hold of them enough. So this is one way of helping it along. So another thing you'll notice here, you see how what's floating on the top there, there's things of different colours, so there's some white things and all sorts. So what is interesting is when we put some of those underneath our microscope to see what they are, because there's a whole multitude of things going on in there, bacteria, fungi, hopefully, and just dissolved nutrients.
Now Phil, you're very enthusiastic because you've just been on a course.
I have, yes.
Do you want to give a quick shout out to your genius teacher and the college? So,
Malton Agricultural College in Northamptonshire, which incidentally is where my father went as a student some 65 or more years ago.
No, it must have been more than that, because he's been married for 65 years tomorrow.
That's true enough. 75.
So it must be 75.
Yeah. So they put on a course at their college taken by Tim Parton. Tim Parton is one of the founder members of a group called the Green Farm Collective, and they're made up of 4 of them mostly. And Tim is an expert in this sort of thing, and so it was really good to go and find out what he was thinking. He can explain some of the things that we've just been talking about, and basically his philosophy is brew it, wash it, aerate it, and see what happens. He said the worst that can happen is that the concoction you put in your sprayer goes solid, in which case he said you have to clean it out and start again. But he said the stuff that this sort of technique produces is gold dust to both garden plants and farm plants.
And he's been doing it for how many years? 17
or 18 years. He's also a Soil Farmer of the Year from some years back. So he's widely held to be the UK father and expert of these techniques.
Well, if you're watching, Tim, I don't know what you think of Phil's efforts, but I hope the result will be well worth it.